Hi, everyone. Auspicious greeting to you. I'm Verbal Mangguang of Dallas Temple. The course I'm going to guide you this fall is meditation, awareness through mindfulness. Since we have at least 10 hours of practicing, I would like to share with you the guidance of the course. So many people nowadays, they know or at least they hear about mindfulness. But what does it mean to know something about that involves our thinking and behavior? From my own experience, to know something, that means we know the mindfulness, we need to learn about it with a beginner's mind. It's empty and curious. And study it. At last, we practice it. And to know is to intimate with it. That means mindfulness and we are one. Mindfulness becomes part of our life and informs who we are. The origins of mindfulness are in Buddha's teachings and his understanding of the nature of mind, human suffering, and the middle path to overcome it. His teachings are the core of Buddhism, embrace all over the world as a religion, you can call it, or philosophy, psychology of mind, and the self-help way or method. So what are we going to learn about mindfulness at the beginning? In Buddhism, there are four foundations of mindfulness. The Buddha once said, if we want to contemplate, and he urged his disciples, dwell contemplating the body in the body. And he said, in order to know the body as it really is, does it mean the body in the body? Generally, we think our body is our own body, but actually, the body is not a solid form. It is composed by many parts. We train ourselves to observe parts of our body, and we can realize the body is not mine. I cannot totally control the changes of the body. Body is simply just a physical form. And that's what we mean to know the body as it really is. And of course, since we experience or since our body experience injury, illness, and death. And of course, the body is unsatisfactory as a source of lasting happiness. Since it is not myself, the body can also be called selfless. When mindfulness helps us to recognize that the body is impermanent, unsatisfactory, and selfless. So we will say in the Buddha's words, we know the body as it really is. And the second foundation is the mindfulness of feeling. Feeling is the process of a mental awareness. And we will arise pleasant, unpleasant, or neutral feeling. And we regard feelings in this way to help us to develop a very simple, non-judgmental awareness of what we are experiencing. We observe that any feeling is impermanent because it just come and go. And seeing a feeling as a kind of emotion or sensation rather than as my feeling. So again, we come to know that feelings are selfless. We developed a non-self attitude when we practicing the meditation. And the third foundation is the mindfulness of our mind. The same process applies to this, to the mindfulness of mind. When we practice and the consciousness arises from moment to moment on the basis of information coming to us with the senses. What we see, what we hear, smell, taste, and touch. And from eternal mental states such as memory, imagines, and daydreams. When we look at the mind or when we observe our mind, we are not looking at only consciousness. The mind alone cannot exist. Only particular states of mind that appear depending on external or internal conditions. So when we practice, we pay attention to the way each thought arises, remains present, and passes away. We learn to stop the running way train of one thought leading to another and another and another. We gain a bit of detachment and understanding that we are not our thoughts. So that when we practice mindfulness of mind, we can observe our thoughts, but we know it is not ourselves because the thought arising is impermanent. And that's what the Buddha said, mind as it really is. We cannot control everything. And the fourth is the mindfulness of Dharma. Dharma in Buddhism, we say that's Buddha's teaching. By telling us the practice of mindfulness of dharmas, the Buddha is not simply saying that we should be mindful of his teachings. I think that's very important because he said everybody can become a Buddha, possess the same Buddha nature. So when he said mindfulness of the Dharma, he warned us, or at that time, his disciples, to cultivate the wisdom from their own. He is just reminding us that the Dharma that we contemplate is within us. So the inner seeking is known as come and see. We treat ourselves as just like a a person who is searching inside ourselves. Only when we do the research inside and that we can find the answer. So we say first step, we learn how to meditate and we learn the knowledge or the benefits of taking the meditation. And the second, we study. We study Buddha's teaching. And the third, we practice. When we practice the mindfulness of our body, practice the mindfulness of our feelings, the mindfulness of our mind, and the mindfulness of Dharma, and then we really practice it. So just come, sit, and see. I think that's the procedure. So if you are interested, making some experience by yourself, and you can join this class. We have 10 hours. So at the beginning, we will have 20 minutes sitting, or you can call it meditation practice. And then we will discuss the feelings, or you can say the negativity side of our mind. That will include our anxiety, our anger, our worries, and our jealousy, and our desire. We will have time to talk about that. And also, we want to talk about what can we develop after taking the meditation. We will talk about compassion, because when we have enough practice of looking inside of ourselves and we know the meaning of impermanence, we know the meaning of non-self, and we experience the whole procedure. And so compassion, it will develop in ourselves, and we become not too much attached to some of our emotion or some of our negativity, some of our emotions. So if you are interested, then we will see. The starting day will be, let me check. It's September. The first class will be September 18th, 1 o'clock in Pacific time. So I will see you then. Thank you. Goodbye.